So it's just a little bit past 6 p.m. I'm about to go for a quick walk right now. I don't know. I don't feel too good right now. I'm a little dizzy, but I'm still gonna go. But when I say I don't feel good, it's meaning like, oh, I just feel like the headaches, the nausea feeling, and like I got the flu or fever right now. That's how I feel like. I mean, it is pretty hot today, even though I don't know. It just got really hot today, and it just made me feel sick. You know, when it's sometimes when you sleep, like today, I took a nap for maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, and when I woke up, I was hot and sweaty. So yeah, I'm only going for a couple blocks and see how it goes. Yep, I only walk to the school, which is not too far from the house, but I don't know. I just feel really sick right now. There's actually a lot on my mind right now. Not just about, it's not really about anxiety, but something been bothering me for a couple of months, but I don't really show it. It's more personal, but I don't know. It just has me thinking a lot about how I talked about before how some people cause those suffers with anxiety, and depression, and lazy and weak. But I don't really have the depression side of me as much as I used to. I mean, I still have it, but not as bad as before. But what I mean by talking about people calling those suffers with anxiety, uh, weak, lazy, stuff like that. That part it bothers me, but when someone that you've been with for so long talks behind your back, and well, I mean, I didn't really want to talk about it, but I guess I just said it, but something I found out a couple of months ago, been in my mind, I've been thinking about it so much. Sometimes I even dream about it, but something something happened yesterday that really got to me. So I don't know. It's make me feel sick just thinking about it. Like I mean, I'm doing a lot better now, but that person, just the way, just the way that person been acting towards me, around me, got me lost and confused. Didn't want it to bother, let it get to me, um, so I just kind of brush it off. But once I dream about what happened, it gets to me. So once it gets to me, it sticks in my mind for a while. I mean, I try not to think about it too much, but it's something that not only am I seeing it like in real life, but it happens in my dream. So it really got to me, and that's why I've been pushing to prove to people that just because there are so many of us that people think we're lazy. Like right now, I'm like, I don't know, my eyes are like just randomly seeing like a bunch of eye floaters. I don't know if I'm just like seeing things or I'm just letting what's happening to me get the best of me. But like I mentioned, it's not about anxiety. Well, not all of it, but when someone thinks, we're lazy, we're weak or whatever, I use that to, I used, I used to that to get me off my bed and prove to them that you, you might think I'm lazy, you might think those of us that have anxiety are lazy, but you don't really know until it happens to you. I mean, I know people that, like where I used to work, I know people that doesn't have anxiety, but they don't have depression because they're always like joking around work, laughing, but when it comes to actually working, they start getting lazy. But you know, for myself, as a person that has learning disability, and I gone through many challenges when I was young, middle school, I had a hard time learning due to my anxiety. So I didn't go to school because I let that get to me, and then you know I I allowed people to treat me like I was stupid, and I didn't really care. Then I proved to them that I might be I might not be a fast learner, but when it comes to like working, I was able to get my grades up just enough to be able to get a working permit during my during middle school. Even though I was only making like $4.50 to $5, but that was back in the 90s, and I was still able to work. But that was one challenge I got over that I overcame by letting my learning disability get to me, but I challenged myself. And then the second one was when I went to high school, I dropped out as a freshman, never looked back. Moved to moved to a different city about an hour away. Never got my GED. Still have a hard time learning stuff. Take me a while, and you know, I thought I would never get a job, even if it's like even if I worked retail, I didn't care as long as I got a job. And that's one thing I hate about people that they start saying I make like $75,000 a year, and I was making 20, 20 to like 30,000 a year, whatever. I was like, well, you didn't have to, you didn't have that challenge I had to. that learn disability. So you can take all your money you want, but if you've been in my shoes, you wouldn't understand. And I understand I'm not the only one that has this has to learn disability, but I just hate how people like to put others down because they don't understand. I mean, it's hard to understand what someone else is going through, but at least try to understand. You don't have to be like, yeah, but I don't understand, but you can walk around that person, see how that person acts, thinks, you know, for a day. You might not understand how it feels, but you'll get a better understanding instead of like pushing that person away. That's what kind of upsets me about some people that try to treat the other people like trash because they don't understand. And then there are times that people look at me and say, "Well, you look so normal." I'm like, you know, you you can have you can have a learning disability, you can have depression, you can have whatever kind of illness. You can look fine. No one will even know. They call it mental illness because it's in your head, but if it's just in your head, why do you feel it in your body? Why do you feel pain in your legs? Why do you feel your eyes? Like, why is your vision blurry? Why is your hands like numb? Why does your muscle feel weak? Why do you get, why do you feel, why does your stomach get upset? Why do you get nauseated? Why do you get this if it's on your head? It's not just on your head, it's all over your body. And that's one thing that people don't understand is they think it's just in your body, but it's not. I mean, they think it's just in your head, but you know, if my hands feel weak, how is it in my head? It's in my hand. True that yeah, you use your brain to control your body, but it's your hands that hurt, and you feel it from your hand by sending that signal to your mind that's telling you it hurts, but it's coming straight from your hand. So yeah, as for what's bothering me, I don't know. I think when people see me doing so much better, they think, oh, he was just faking it for a year or whatever. It's not my it's not just it's not like everyone that's thinking that to me. It's just this one person. I don't want to name, but sometimes you think you know a person, uh, but it's but when you actually don't know them till something happens. Well, sometimes I think see, my neck is all stiff now. And sometimes having anxiety is not it's not really a bad thing, I would say. I mean, I know it sounds kind of crazy, but you know, then your true friends, your true family, those people that always have your back, you know, they're the ones that are there for you no matter what. When you have anxiety and those people that are still around, those are the people that support you no matter what. But once they start talking about you either in front of you or behind your back, then you know that they were only there when you didn't need them. But when you need them, they're the first one that talks behind your back. But I'm always there for like people that needed me. Like it could be my neighbors, if they say, "Can you help me? Can we borrow something from your parents, whatever?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And then when we need something, we ask them. That's how it should be. You just ask someone for help, and you help them. And when you need for help, you need them to help you out. They return the favor and help you back. That's how I see it, and that's how it should be. I mean, if someone doesn't want to help you still help them. You you be the bigger person, and then they'll realize, you know, hey, I apologize, I should have helped you when you asked, but you were the bigger person, you helped me even though I turned you down, you know. So what I mean by having this disorder isn't, I mean, it sucks feeling the way you feel, don't get me wrong, I hate it myself, but it also proves to you that whatever is going in your mind is, whatever it is that gives you anxiety is because you care, not just about yourself, but about others. And that's how I see it with anxiety, is that you care a lot. It's not weaknesses, it's because you care too much. Overcaring is not, there's nothing wrong with that too, in my opinion. So you just care too much, you shouldn't care too much, you know. There's really nothing wrong with caring too much, but sometimes when you care about others more than yourself, then that becomes a problem. Then that's kind of what happened to me. I sometimes I care about others more than I care about myself, and I don't know if that might have been the reason why I got this disorder. I'm not too sure, but yeah, I mean, I feel a lot happier than I have been for the longest time. But you know, like I said, there's still some things that gets to me from time to time. Like what's going on with me right now, and it's been on my mind for the longest time. It's just that I didn't let it bother me to, you know, something I heard, and then it just automatically got the best out of me. And I mean, I understand, you know, sometimes you can't control everything, and that's another thing about anxiety. You wish you control it, but you can't. But sometimes you have to find the good in what you can control, and don't worry about the things you can't control. That's another thing I want to kind of remind myself and talk about, is that you know, we focus on our negatives so much that we don't think about the positive. You know, even if 95% the things you think about is negative, you know, that 5% is positive. You, no matter what, you have to try to stick with the positive. For example, I I didn't think I would ever leave my front door. So one day I had to go help my dad grab some stuff out of the car, and I didn't want him to like carry something heavy. So I asked him if he needed help. He just said yeah, and I mean, he knew that I was having a hard time leaving my front door, but he didn't say anything negative like, oh, don't worry, I know you can't leave the front door. He said, sure, come and help me out. You know, he didn't like try to remind me that I wouldn't be able to leave the door. So when I went out and helped him, and then all he said was, he said thanks, and then I realized, wait a minute, I walked out the front door, and then he just tapped me in the back. Well, he didn't have to say good job, you went out the house, and then he just tapped me in the back, like, you know, just to let me know that he knew that it was hard for me to leave, but he didn't want to make it sound like I wasn't able to leave. So sometimes you don't have to, someone doesn't have to say, hey, good job, you left, because sometimes when someone says that, hey, good job, you left, you kind of start thinking like, wow, I actually left the front door, like, you know, like it's like a big thing in your mind because you haven't left your house in a long time. But at the same time, it makes you feel like, why didn't I leave my front door before? So you start thinking about the negative and the positive at the same time, but you have to realize, hey, you left the front door. So once you leave the front door, just you start the positive. Don't think about all those times that you couldn't leave the front door, you know. Because when I start thinking about why I couldn't leave the front door, it got the best of me. I mean, if I leave my house, like, even to my driveway, because like I mentioned before, I couldn't even leave the driveway, to the driveway, I should say. If I keep thinking about, like, if I can do it the next day, then, the next day comes, it's gonna stick to my mind. Then I'll say, I'll go out in 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, that 5 minutes would turn into like 8, 9, 10 hours later. Because I'm thinking about it so much that I'm like finding a reason not to go out. Like, for example, if I said, oh, it's too dark for me to go outside, I'll do it tomorrow. How it's too hot for me to go outside, I'll do it later when it cools down, and later it becomes too late, etc. Another thing that you can do to change your negativity into a positive, it's like anytime you leave the front door, and you think you didn't do it, just take a picture of you leaving the front door, with the date, the time, whatever. That's a reminder. That's what I do with these videos. If I allow myself to think that I never left the front door, I would just go back and watch my own videos and remind myself, see how bad I had it, like, last year, and how I transformed that into who I am today. When I used to make these videos, when I didn't leave the house, I was indoor, like, I was struggling, I was depressed, I was like emotionally, like, wanting to cry. Sometimes I do cry, asking myself why am I crying for no reason? Why did this happen to me? What did I do? Why this and why that? It's like all those why made it worse every time I ask myself why. So instead of asking myself why, when I decided to walk out the door, I said let's go. When I said let's go, I'm not talking just about myself, talking about everyone that having a hard time, struggling. Man, some people think like, oh, this guy, he's walking around riding his bike, he's going for a car wash, he went to the store. But what they don't realize is that it doesn't take me that long to like go inside the store. It's those thoughts that makes it hard for me to like move my legs one in front of the other, like take my foot, plant it in front of the other foot and keep walking. Sometimes feel like I have to stop and like gather my thoughts, like, do you really want to do this? And when you ask yourself that, then you let your negative thoughts get to you. So whenever I go to the store now, for the past month, 2 months, I will go into the store first. If I'm going with my girlfriend or my daughter, I'll go in the store first. I'll tell them. Well, actually, I don't even tell them because I have a bad habit of walking fast, and they and then they kind of like walk slow because they like looking around, like outside the store or whatever. For me, I just like to go in right away, and then I'll start walking around. And then if I start walking around, if I keep going at my own pace, I'm okay. But if I have a little what if thought and I stop right there, I have a bad habit of like just staying there and listen to my own thoughts. And then once that happens, I know I'm gonna be stuck in that thought process for a while. So if I have one of those thoughts, I would just keep going. If I feel panicky at a certain area, I would just stay there and let the panic go away, and then I'll continue, because I know if I walk faster, if I have the urge to run away from that whatever I am and I had a panic there, it's going to make it worse, because I'm going to be hiding from that place. I'm going to think it's a trigger. So that's why I slow myself down now. I'll plant my foot on the ground and just walk low. I'll just stay there and just allow the panic to go away, and then I'll continue walking. But whatever your negative thoughts telling you like you can't do this, you can't do that. And once you do it, that thought will slowly go away. So if you allow yourself to keep saying, "Oh, I can't leave my front door," you know, I mean, I've been through there. I can't leave my front door. Once I look at the front door and I keep saying I can't leave it, the front door, then I let that get to me, and then I won't want to leave the front door. So once I did leave the front door, and then I would just say in my head, hey, I left the front door and nothing happened. I kept doing that until I got comfortable with it, and then I do it again if I don't feel comfortable in my driveway. So you just have to find what makes you uncomfortable and slowly work your way up. If it's leaving the front door doesn't make you feel comfortable, you know, don't leave the front door. Just stay near the door, open the door, just look out. And next day you do it again. Stay there longer. The longer you stay there without having the urge to run, or even though you have the urge to run, stay there as long as possible and slowly walk back to your bedroom or wherever you feel safe. Like I mentioned, including myself, I had a hard time just going in my front door. I looking at the front door without even opening it made me panicky for the longest time. So I got annoyed, and then one day I was like, you know what? I'll just open the door, just sit right there with the door open. Just look out, allow myself to see the outdoor. Instead of looking out the window all the time like I had. Because once I allow myself to go out the front door, and then I sit on the driveway, allow the panicky feeling to come, and then I slowly walk back in the room, do it again. And then once I don't feel panicky there, and then I slowly walk to the neighbor's house. And one day I walked all the way to the corner of the house, and I didn't feel panicky anymore. So, you just gotta take the baby steps, but at the same time, you have to allow yourself to feel panicky, because if you want to run back, then you're allowing that panic feeling to get stronger. That's why I took a longer time to recover, because even though I was going outside and then I stopped for a little bit and then I started feeling panicky, as soon as I walked out, I ran back in, and then I allowed myself to get scared again. So, I mean, I think I would have recovered a lot sooner if I kept that up last year, last summer, But I had that one bad day, and I allowed it to get the best of me, and then I didn't want to go outside the house anymore for a couple of months, and now I'm back again doing the same thing. But different between this time and last time, I had less less symptom sensation last year, but I felt the panicky was longer. It would last for like an hour or two with the less symptoms. I was dizzier. My symptoms were stronger, but I didn't have as much symptoms. Right now I have more symptoms, but they don't last as long as they used to. I know it's kind of strange, but that's how it is. Mhm. So yeah, I'm about to head home right now. Besides, it's getting dark, and I'm getting hungry again, even though I just ate. But yeah, that's pretty much it, and I'm just gonna head home. I kind of do wish I took a longer walk, but I'm not feeling so well with whatever's in my mind. But it's gotta. Even though I was thinking, I was actually having negative thoughts before I left my house, but I didn't let it get to me, and I just decided to go for a walk and talk about it at the same time. It makes me feel better instead of keeping it in my mind.